Cast out by a bloodline of snakes following his mother's murder, Yun vanished into the night penniless. Fast forward 12 years, he snags a haunted bargain bin estate and triggers a broken god-tier Sect system. While commoners grind for decades, he burns system points to instantly save a girl with an S-rank physique. He makes her his first disciple. With just 4 weeks of basic drills, his rookie Absolute mops the floor with an arrogant great Sect, one-shotting their top elites before a stunned crowd. Behold the power of the Sect system, and this is only the prologue. We dive into the chaos as our young lead faces a brutal family tragedy. He screams for his dead mother, pleading for a reason behind the horror, while a panicked maid restrains him. But his father, a man with zero soul, coldly shuts down the mourning without a hint of remorse. This frozen-hearted patriarch barks at the crowd to kill the noise and clear the room immediately. Shattered and disgusted, Yun begs for justice, but his old man serves up some stone-cold corporate excuses. He orders total silence on the murder, declaring the clan won't lift a finger to seek vengeance. Yun's mind short-circuits. He demands to know why, but Dad claims it is all for the bigger picture. Justice is banned. That is the final straw. Yun locks eyes with the man who raised him, calling him a monster for ignoring his own wife's blood before declaring he is leaving for good. As he storms into the night, Yun severs every tie to this poisonous family tree. Aware of his current weakness, he swears to obtain power so massive that the world will tremble. The goal: build his own sect, gather a loyal army, and expand his shadow across the land. He won't stop until everyone responsible for his mother's end, even the silent ones, is utterly crushed. Though tears blur his vision, his resolve is iron. Even if this takes a lifetime, he is locked in. Retribution is coming. Fast forward 12 years, by a crackling campfire, a goon is shaking in his boots. This lowlife tries to talk his way out of death, howling about a mistake and begging for mercy. He offers up anything for a deal, but Yun just towers over him like a reaper. Having already erased a small army, Yun admits there is one thing he wants. The thug perks up instantly. With a predatory smirk, Yun simply asks for the man's soul. The deal is dead, and so is he. The goon snaps, screaming that this must be a joke, but Yun does not even flinch. If you won't give it, I'll take it, he whispers. The desperate trash begins hurling useless threats. He swears to rip Yun apart, but our boy is a ghost. He teleports behind the loudmouth instantly. Noting the guy's breath is as trash as his skill, Yun faceplants him directly into the mud. Delusional as ever, the thug lunges barking that he will deliver Yun's head to the Murim big shots. The Alliance Yun does not blink, deleting the guy from existence in one smooth motion. Mission accomplished. He tosses his blade to his annoyed assistant, a girl who is low-key impressed but high-key over his drama. Side out, she mentions the council is demanding that specific scroll from the mission. It needs to be submitted now. Meanwhile, Yun is literally drenched in the blood of his enemies. He just grins, thanking her for sticking around. She stares back like he is a walking crime scene. She begs him to clean the splatter off his face, but he shrugs it off as light exercise. Checking the scroll, he lets fresh blood from the corpse drip onto the page before signing it. Eyeing the report, he wonders if this closes a chapter. He flings the paper back to her, telling her to deliver it to the Murim Alliance, and declaring his official retirement. She asks if he's heading home. Yun finally cleans his face, confirming his goals here are finished. She asks if she can drop by later. He laughs, telling her to visit whenever she is bored out of her mind. He adds, she just needs to send an invite. Now, drifting down a serene river, Yun reflects on his path. A decade has passed since he fled those snakes. Mastering his own arts, he became a Murim captain. After 12 years of rising through the ranks, he is finally ready to build his own empire. He has got the cash to buy a manor, and, as luck would have it, the dream estate just went up for sale. Everything is going perfectly. He lets out a dark chuckle. He's praising the gods before descending into a full-blown fit of maniacal laughter. The jittery ferryman stares in pure horror, convinced he's chauffeuring a total psycho across the river. Our hero catches himself, offers a sheepish apology, and reveals his ultimate goal. He's finally signing for a Sect estate, his lifelong dream. The boatman realizes he's carrying a young leader, but a chilling realization hits him. There is only one estate currently on the market here. He nervously asks if it's the Haunted Mansion. Our clueless MC completely ignores the warning. The ferryman paddles away like his life depends on it, wishing him luck. Yun just thanks him hyped. With only the signature left, he wonders what could go south. Then he reaches the estate. Instant regret hits. The place is a literal mountain of trash that looks ready to collapse. A desperate salesman tries to hype the ruin, bragging about how spacious this disaster is. The protagonist isn't buying the cap. He grabs the shady agent, accusing him of blatant scam. The vendor panics, swearing he worked overtime to find this gem and begging for a chance. Our hero surveys the rot, while the salesman pivots, offering a tour of the massive grounds. 45 rooms and 5 training grounds. Yun is stunned. What kind of sect originally owned this? The vendor plays dumb, claiming the estate's history is far too ancient to remember. He insists a little DIY will fix everything. The MC agrees, but demands the real catch. Impressed by his intuition, the salesman drops a bomb. Every previous buyer died on night 1. They all suffer heart failure with 0 injuries. Now, everyone assumes the place is cursed. Neither guards nor priests could cleanse it. Our boy just stares at him with dead eyes. He asks if the agent is seriously trying to pass off a literal death trap. The sweating salesman whispers the price. Only 5 silver certificates, a 90% discount. The MC weighs the risk of sudden death against the bargain of a lifetime. Then he bursts into laughter, telling the agent he should have led with the price first. Relieved, the salesman hands over the deed, glazing the MC as a legendary ghost catcher. But the moment our hero takes the deed, a system window flickers to life before him. The transfer is confirmed. Yin gets an icy shiver, but brushes off the salesman's concern. Eager to escape with his life, he dismisses the agent. The vendor's job is finally done. He tells Yin to hit him up tomorrow if he's still breathing. Our boy accepts the challenge. The salesman sprints away instantly. Alone at last, the protagonist loses his cool and celebrates his win. He screams in joy, dreaming of disciples after he cleans up this absolute dumpster fire. He spent the entire evening waging a brutal war against mountains of ancient dust. Finally, only the main hall remains. He kicks the doors open, ready to wrap things up, but he freezes. Sitting dead center in the room is a mysterious, ancient-looking sword. Assuming the previous owner forgot it, he dreams of selling this lucky find for a bag. But as he draws the blade, the room transforms into a glowing holographic system grid. A system window initiates a Sect establishment evaluation, scanning his entire soul. It declares him the highest grade examiner in history. But before he can celebrate, something lethal lunges at him. He dodges as the system cold-bloodedly cranks up the difficulty. Yin finally connects the dots. This holographic death room is what killed the previous buyers. He smirks, realizing the metal projectile that nearly took his head came from the shadows. The system announces the start of extreme difficulty. Our hero is ready to lock in. He's game for anything. The Hall of Martial Power is about to see his true worth. However, he looks down and realizes his own sword is practically shattered. He pauses, noting the attacks can't reach his current position. He needs a plan. His weapon is trashed, but he remembers the mysterious sword and draws it once more. If this room refuses to strike beyond a specific line, it's clearly guarding something massive on the other side. Advancing toward the source, he's met with dozens of concealed, gun-like mechanisms, suddenly locking onto him. Stunned for a heartbeat, he's engulfed in a hail of fire. He desperately weaves and deflects the incoming onslaught. A bullet grazes his shoulder as a shattered blade finally disintegrates. Now, our boy is locking in and shifting gears. Activating Flowing Moon Step and his illusory palm, he lunges straight into the teeth of those mechanical muzzles. As he nears the target, a violent force blasts him back. Reality resets, leaving those metal spheres eerily silent and frozen. Confused, he stares at the strange new blade gripped in his hand, just as a system notification flashes into existence. The trial is over. He questions the sudden silence, only to realize the entire estate has been magically scrubbed, sparkling clean. It looks brand new. The system verifies his victory and begins unlocking all the hidden estate features one by one. Everything is maxed out. He gazes at the mysterious sword, which is now pulsing with an otherworldly blue radiance. Can he keep it? He decides the room definitely owes him a top-tier weapon after that near-death experience. The system cuts his appraisal short, demanding a name for the estate to finalize the trial. With absolute pride, he declares this name was chosen long ago. His new sanctuary will be called Anti-Insect. The system logs the official title immediately. While the digital screens finalize the data, Yin focuses back on reality. It's time for some serious answers. He demands that whatever phantom is supposedly haunting this place steps out from the shadows and shows itself right now. No ghost appears. Instead, the system cheerily pings, announcing that the long-awaited Sect system is officially going live. Our guy stares at the empty air, completely losing it. He's seriously questioning what kind of madness he stumbled into. Snatching the shady vendor by his collar, he growls, asking if the man actually expected him to survive the night. Why wasn't there a warning about this glowing anomaly? He points aggressively at the floating system window right in their faces. He rants about this weird box stalking him since yesterday. Suddenly, the system chimes in with a smug digital tone. It reminds him that only the owner has the clearance to see the interface. Unsurprisingly, the vendor remains totally clueless. The man just stares at thin air, wondering if the MC took a nasty bump to the head during the night. Nervous, the salesman offers a refund for the hallucinations, but our boy shuts him down immediately. He's keeping the place. He still needs the property. Pivoting back to the deal, the vendor notes they have massive prep work ahead. For the grand opening ceremony, the first mission is clear. He needs to secure 20 sets of high-quality uniforms. The vendor suggests local tailors, but warns that getting their attention will be a complete and total nightmare. Apparently, every merchant is currently at war, trying to snag a contract with the legendary Golden Dragon Trade Company. This massive titan supplies to the family and wields terrifying influence over both the orthodox and unorthodox martial worlds. The vendor quickly kills the vibe, though, noting that those premium Golden Dragon fabrics are way out of his league. They're way over budget. Even worse, the salesman awkwardly mentions that the local shops won't even talk to him. Rumors of his haunted estate are spreading like wildfire. The system, however, takes personal offense at being called a ghost. Our hero snaps at the floating window to shut up. Then a realization hits him like a freight train. Suddenly it clicks. He only signed the deed yesterday, so these rumors are spreading at an impossibly suspicious speed. The vendor starts sweating buckets, offering a shaky, awkward laugh about how fast news travels in this town. Resting his hand on his blade, he glares daggers at the salesman, accusing him of leaking the gossip himself. The trembling man tries to spin it as free hype, arguing that the MC, still being alive, proves it's safe. Totally fed up, our hero rants about being stuck in this self-inflicted PR nightmare. This is a mess. We cut to our boy basically begging for clothes at the local market, only to be shut down everywhere. Every storefront rejects him aggressively. The merchants literally scream at him to get lost before he brings bad luck. They curse their luck for even having a haunted man near their shops. He tries to keep his cool. He can't afford to look like a total psycho for his first public impression. But his pep talk is cut short. A violent commotion erupts nearby. A terrified kid is screaming at a pack of arrogant warriors. He accuses them of stealing his money for his sister's medicine while doing absolutely nothing. An old man steps in. He calls out the thugs for wearing white sword sect robes while bullying a child, but they feel no shame. One thug casually kicks the kid down. Their leader, with a pretentious ponytail, coldly orders his men to silence everyone, ensuring the elders stay clueless about their grift. The thugs unsheathe their steel. Suddenly, our protagonist crashes the party. He connects a savage roundhouse to the nearest punk's jaw, sending him straight to dreamland. The others bark out, demanding to know who's messing with their hustle. He calmly drops his name Yun, master of the Edian Sect. The goons flex, claiming the White Sword Sect will erase him from existence. But Yun dances around their slow-motion swings, snapping an arm with one lightning-fast counter. Roasting them for overestimating their street cred, he buries another goon's face into the pavement with a heavy punch. Only the ponytail boss remains. His arrogance shatters as he realizes exactly who he's staring at. The legendary former captain of the Murim Alliance. Nearby, that sketchy merchant is chilling with a drink. He does a full-blown spit take, frantically pointing a finger at the shaking gang leader. Yin rants about his frustration, unable to score new drip because of his messy reputation. He dares the punk to try him. The fool lunges, but Yin effortlessly ghosts his attack. Flattening the entire squad onto the concrete, he gives them a friendly invite to the Edian Sect. If they crave a real beatdown, they're welcome. Otherwise, stay low unless they want a permanent hospital bed. The cowards flee while screaming hollow threats. With the clutter cleared, the elder offers his sincere gratitude. Seeing this beast needs new gear, the kid pipes up about his sister's legendary sewing skills, but she's plagued by a strange curse. Desperate, the boy pleads for Yun to save her life. Before Yun can decline, a holographic window pings. It is a level 3 business opportunity he cannot ignore. Hooked by the high-tier rank, he grills the kid for info. Soon, they're trekking toward the family shack. The orphan shares how his sister's needlework kept them alive after their parents' tragic passing. Now, a terrifying chill consumes her, literally turning her limbs into ice. The old merchant adds more detail. He owns a nearby textile shop and visited only because their communications went dead silent. They reach a crumbling hut that looks ready to cave in at any moment. It is a nightmare inside. The sister is literally thrusting her bare hands into a blazing furnace simply to survive the frost. She greets them. Yin realizes surviving direct fire is no ordinary sickness. The system pings, confirming the external flames and her internal frost are locked in a deadly stalemate. They're neutralizing each other perfectly. This has all the hallmarks of a lethal yin energy surge. She confesses that leaving the heat causes her skin to freeze solid instantly. Yin checks her pulse, ghosting the system's frantic warnings about the dangerous yin energy he is absorbing. It is high risk, but he mutes the noisy interface while it validates his grim theory. He breaks the news. She was born with an extreme yin body, a legendary but cursed constitution, a body that devours ambient cold energy. Fun fact, the famous Sword Empress shares this exact trait. It is a god-tier buff for warriors, but for a normal girl with no yang energy, it is a death sentence. He drops the bomb. She only has 3 months left. Suddenly, the system flashes a brand new mission. Claim 50 essence points by recruiting his first student. Plus, a healing skill just unlocked. The cost? Exactly 50 essence. Grinning at the perfect coincidence, Yin stares the dying girl in the eye. He offers her a lifeline. Join the Eddie insect as his first disciple, or face the end. She is stunned. To her, martial artists are just self-serving snakes who cause nothing but pain. Blaming them for her parents' end, she is convinced he will just dump her when she is useless. Then she notices it. Yin has not let go, and his hand is turning a bruised frozen purple. Despite her lethal cold, he does not flinch. He treats the frostbite like it is just a minor scratch. Moved by his selfless vibe, she takes a massive leap of faith and accepts his offer. Instantly, the quest completes. The essence hits his account, and the healing skill activates immediately. A radiant blue aura surges between them, shattering the icy grip of her illness. Her limbs finally regain their warmth. The boy celebrates while the old man watches in utter disbelief. Stunned, he asks if that was legendary healing. Yin just plays it cool with a shrug. Roaring with laughter, the elder admits he's stunned. He finally gets why the Miram leader favors this kid. Our hero is momentarily paralyzed, wondering how a simple silk merchant knows the ultimate authority of martial arts. Flashing a dazzling smile, the old man apologizes for the secrecy before finally revealing his true self. He is the legendary powerhouse behind the Golden Dragon Trade Company. Cut to the White Sword Sect, where 3 absolutely wrecked thugs tremble before their leader. Lord Sir Yong stares down with pure disgust, asking if they seriously got humbled by some nameless startup. The thugs grovel like their lives depend on it. Stepping forward, Sir Yong mocks one shattered arm, but his tone quickly turns lethal. He snarls that broken bones are nothing so shameful as the mockery their failure brings his reputation. Ignoring their sobbing pleas, Sir Yong orders his men to drag all 3 straight to the punishment chamber. As the terrified goons are hauled off screaming, Sir Yong smirks maliciously. This mysterious Heichi Sect kid is making moves. He decides it's time for a brutal welcoming ceremony. Back at the shack, our protagonist is reeling from the revelation that this grandpa runs a trade empire. He knew the man was special, but a literal titan of industry. That's a massive shock. The young girl bows low, offering a sincere apology for her previous rudeness. The old man laughs it off, casually inviting our hero to join his company with full financial support. Our boy weighs the offer as the system identifies it as a high-tier level 1 business contact. This guild funds the imperial family and wields enough clout to make the Miram alliance sweat. It's the ultimate golden ticket, and he knows it. However, he politely declines. He just took on his first disciple and has his own path to forge. Instantly, the friendly grandpa persona vanishes. The atmosphere shifts into something much more dangerous. A crushing aura fills the room as he demands to know who dares refuse the Golden Dragon Master. Standing his ground, our hero counter offers a business partnership promising prestige worthy of the Golden Dragon name. The trade master scoffs at the sheer nerve. What could nobody possibly offer a world-class empire? Unfazed, our hero sets a 10-year deadline. He vows to build a sect that rivals the world's elite. The 9 great sects and the Union Alliance. The 7 gates and the major families. Is that enough clout? The elder explodes in mocking laughter. A nameless sect rivaling ancient giants in a decade. Utterly delusional. Our hero remains calm. He adds a crucial twist. The promised reputation isn't for the master himself. He asks for an introduction to the company's true heir instead. He wants to trade for the Golden Dragon's future. The air becomes dangerously electric. A massive fire dragon aura erupts from the elder, clashing against our boy's unyielding tiger energy. Impressed by his insane guts, the trade master agrees. He'll send his disciple to evaluate the deal, but warns of grave consequences for disappointing results. Our hero confidently guarantees there's nothing to worry about. The deal struck. The elder snaps back to his jolly self, barking for his men to bring the silk. Suddenly, 10 elite guards and a luxurious carriage materialize, bowing in perfect sync to their master. Gesturing to a mountain of premium fabric, the elder calls it an advance payment for the entertainment. Our hero accepts, mentally noting that every single guard is a high-level master. As the carriage pulls away, the merchant chuckles. Our boy's impudence reminds him of a legendary old friend. He orders his men to pivot toward the Evil Path Alliance, craving a drink with their leader after so long. Back at the estate, our protagonist looks absolutely drippy in his newly tailored Sect robes. Proudly claiming he's vibing with the fit, the system confirms his new drip buffed his charm stat. His new disciple sighs in relief, admitting it was her first day on the job. Feeling himself in the premium silk, our lead flexes the fit before the system drops a sudden wild twist. Declaring he crafted legendary tier gear, it forces him to pick a loot reward, an elite manual high-grade talent potion, or a unique trait reveal. He chooses the trait Unlock to finally peep his disciple's hidden potential and secret stats. He instantly scans the girl's profile. The system confirms she is cracked thanks to her extreme body, but her current physical power is total trash due to zero exercise. He notices 3 locked slots: diligence, adversity, and responsibility. When he tries to click them, the system savagely warns him her mana is way too low. Complaining about the greedy system, he realizes he must force her to grind to awaken her true dormant powers. He claps his hands with a mischievous grin, announcing that it is finally time for a real training arc. The girl is totally hyped, assuming she will learn flashy god-tier martial arts to honor the hero who saved her, and eagerly asks which legendary technique they will master first. Our MC gives her a blank stare, simply ordering her into a horse stance. Soon, the poor girl is sweating buckets and shaking like a leaf. She whines, thinking she would learn something epic instead of just playing statue in a basic squat position. He explains the riding horse posture is the ultimate foundational flex to rebuild her garbage stamina from the ground up. When she asks for the timer, he casually says the goal is 30 minutes, leaving her looking absolutely traumatized. She struggles to survive as her muscles scream. She asks if a total noob can actually master high-level combat. Our lead gives her a wholesome pep talk, explaining her extreme body is an energy vacuum once her Danteon awakens. All that chaotic power will eventually settle into a massive battery. He smirks, knowing he hit the jackpot, finding a disciple with such a broken, overpowered build. His internal flex is ruined by the shady vendor, who runs up shouting about a letter from the White Sword Sect. The kid instantly gets salty, remembering those thugs. The salesman reveals the White Sword Sect is hosting a massive tournament and formally invites the Eternal Sect to brawl. Their leader, Su Yin Wang, is famous for using these events as an excuse to completely delete and disband rival sections. However, the vendor is confused why they would target such a literal nobody sect, accidentally roasting everyone in one breath. After catching a death stare, our hero smirks, realizing this stage is perfect to put his sect on the map. The girl nervously asks if they will be okay, fearing she might be a burden since they're a duo. Our MC drops a massive bombshell. He is not fighting. He cheerfully announces that she, as the top disciple, will be entering the arena completely alone. She nods firmly before her brain finally processes the word alone, and she screams. Our girl is currently running on empty, completely drained by her daily hellish routine. She complains that while she was weak, doing nothing but this isometric torture is pushing it. She has not even touched a sword for a full hour, only practicing basic slashes a toddler could do. With less than 2 weeks until the big show, she questions his sanity. Recalling his unbothered, cheeky grin telling her not to worry, she marches to his room for a confrontation, expecting to catch him slacking off. She peeks inside and is stunned. Our lead is furiously sewing her new combat uniform. He accidentally stabs his finger, groaning that tailoring is a nightmare, while his own system interface ruthlessly roasts him for taking bleed damage. He tells the glowing box to shut up, expecting her to quit training, but he is determined to finish her new drip so she feels like a boss on the big day. Right on cue, the system pings to announce her responsibility trait is finally blooming, leaving him stunned by the growth. Fast forward to the day of the White Sword Sect's grand tournament. In the crowd, local disciples are spilling tea. One wonders why their boss threw a whole event instead of just a quick sparring match with those nobodies. The other explains that the embarrassing rumors of their guys getting bodied have already gone viral like wildfire. So, the leader is using this stage to make a brutal public example of what happens when you cross them. As the goons brag about some fools picking the wrong fight, our duo arrives with total main character energy. The girl looks determined as she signs the entry forms and locks in her fate. Forget a polite duel with the Eternal Sect. This disciple blabs that the humiliating stain on their reputation has already gone viral. Their squad got completely demolished. So, the boss is using this tournament to deliver a brutal public reminder of his absolute authority. Just as the goon mocks the losers who chose the wrong enemy, our power couple casually struts to the desk. Our leading lady signs with cold confidence. As a receptionist stares mesmerized by the girl's chaotic energy, they wonder if this random sect only hires models. Suddenly, another staffer throws major shade at her slightly messy uniform. Unfazed, our girl proudly flexes the outfit, swearing she vibes with the rough aesthetic. The tournament explodes to life as the white sect leader hits the stage with peak politician energy. He spews lies about unity and nurturing the next generation of legends. To hype the crowd, he reveals the grand prize, a legendary clarity pill. Everyone loses their minds. Immediately, the system flags it as a high-tier Wudong elixir. It's a massive blood energy boost. The audience cheers blinded by his fake generosity. Secretly, the leader scoffs at the fools, plotting to annihilate the Edian sect once and for all. At the Area 3 prelims, our girl is deep in a total panic attack. She frantically asks our boy if her basic horse stance training is actually enough to survive. He rests a hand on her shoulder, telling her to trust his training. She's stronger than she realizes. She gives a doubtful nod, but he senses a monstrous aura awakening within her. As she enters the ring, her spiritual pressure is absolutely terrifying. Her opponent, a blue moon brat, scoffs at her total lack of experience. He laughs, saying she looks like a total newbie. Honestly, she admits she's only a month in. Thinking he secured a free win, the arrogant guy demands she attack first. The fight begins. Like a blur, she closes the gap and delivers a strike that sends him into orbit. He's launched straight out of the ring. The crowd is left in stunned silence. With the match over in a heartbeat, our boy just smirks. Told you to trust me. As she's declared the winner, he beams. 2 weeks of drilling basics really paid off. Most rookies hesitate, but he taught her the most vital skill, striking without fear. She dropped the hammer perfectly. Now, it's time to scout the real competition. His gaze locks onto Jing Wang, a lethal swordsman dismantling his opponent like it's nothing. The victim tries to surrender, but Jing Wang keeps the brutal beating going. Even the ref can't stop him. Our boy identifies him as a dirty, sadistic fighter. Our girl skips back, totally hyped about her easy mode victory. Going all out really was the move. Suddenly, the vibe shifts instantly. A wave of pure toxic killing intent hits her. It's coming straight from Jing Wang. He's your final boss, our boy warns calmly. But before they can plan, the snake arrives. The white sect leader slithers over offering some fake as hell congratulations. He mentions his rude disciples, but our boy reminds him they already learned their lesson. The leader drops a heavy, disrespectful hand onto our girl's shoulder. He mocks her fragile body and guarantees she'll get crushed by Jing Wang. He even offers her a pity spot in his sect after she loses. Our boy slaps the man's hand away, mocking his generosity with a sharp retort. He adds that the white sect disciples might actually make good recruits for poaching. Fuming, the leader orders a guy named Wang Bo to show them to their room. The system goes wild. This Wang Bo guy is a literal physical prodigy. Without a second thought, our boy grabs the guy's arm, admiring his insane build. Flustered, the poor guy points out their room and practically teleports away. Safely inside, our girl asks about her scary opponent, but he's elsewhere. He ignores her, entirely focused on his new potential target. How would you feel about having Wang Bo as your new junior? Her brain short-circuits at his audacity. Suddenly, we see the guy's tragic past. Years ago, Wang Paul was scouted by the white sect leader solely for his monstrous build. He made everyone else look like toothpicks and hyped to be someone Paul eagerly accepted. He envisioned legendary glory, but reality hit like a freight train when a kid named Jing Wang folded him. Left bloody and broken, Paul tried to play it off as a fluke, but the leader wasn't buying it. With a cold stare, the boss labeled him a useless shell and tossed him aside like trash. His dreams were deleted instantly, replaced by a life sentence of being the sect's glorified janitor. Instead of a hero, he was now a servant. Paul snaps back to reality, but the nightmare continues. Standing over him like a final boss was Jing Wang, demanding Paul serve as his personal sandbag. He needed a warm-up target for his match. The big guy tries to decline, citing a fever, but Jing Wang just laughs, reminding him that his massive frame is only good for taking hits. Spirit crushed, Paul accepts the beatdown. Meanwhile, at the tournament grounds, the vibes are way different. Our MC is giving the FMC a masterclass on surviving the semis, breaking down the illusion sword. It is all smoke and mirrors, flashy fakes meant to confuse, but it leaves the user's defense wide open. When asked for a counter, she suggests dodging. He nods, but proposes something much more big brain. The plan, tank a hit to close the gap. He promises a W if she trusts him. The shady vendor sneaks up, stunned that our girl actually made it this far into the bracket. He offers congrats, but our boy tells him to save the hype for tomorrow's total sweep. He predicts she will clear the whole tournament, leaving the salesman looking at him like he's crazy. In the arena, the FMC locks eyes with her opponent, a top-tier disciple from the White Sword Sect. He calls her lucky, but tells her the run ends here, claiming the whole crowd wants her gone. She just gives him a cheeky grin, stating her sect leader already saw her winning this easily. He scoffs at her delusions, but the ref calls the start and the atmosphere turns electric instantly. She lunges forward, but the guy's fundamentals are insane, pushing her back with zero effort. His feints are a mess for the eyes, so she locks down her center line, refusing bait. The guy cranks it up, kicking up a massive dust cloud to blind her, but she doesn't flinch. She recalls the golden rule: illusion users are trash at close combat. It's time to pay. She eats a direct hit on purpose, letting herself get slammed down. The salesman starts panicking. He thinks it is over until he sees our MC smirking like a proud dad. All according to plan. The villain starts his victory speech, but she stands right back up, promising to end him now. She blurs into his space and lands a massive haymaker to his jaw, sending him to sleep. The arena goes nuclear. The shady salesman is losing his mind. Clearly, his bet just paid out. Nearby, the thug from yesterday throws a fit, claiming she cheated by faking her defeat. He is screaming for a disqualification, but our boy just steps in with that main character energy. He calls out the pathetic excuse while the thug keeps yapping that a girl winning is impossible. Our hero roasts him, asking why the prestigious White Sect lets its dogs bark at a leader. Right then, the White Sect leader slithers in like a snake, ready to perform some damage control. He drops a fake as hell apology for his rude student, and our boy just brushes it off. The leader scolds his subordinate for being a sore loser, officially handing the W to our girl. The crowd is shook. An underdog with barely a month of training just humbled a major sect. The FMC runs over to our boy, her face lighting up with that "I actually did it" energy. He gives her the props she deserves and promises a massive celebratory feast on the Sect's tab. Even Wong Paul cannot help but smile at the wholesome scene. But the villain isn't done. The White Sect leader spots that smile and immediately kills the vibe with a cold, terrifying order. He tells Paul to slip paralyzing poison into her dinner to nerf her for tomorrow's final match. The goal: have Jean Wong finish the job by permanently crippling her in front of everyone. Shaken by the pure filth of the order, Huang Piao flatly rejects the sickening task. The master cracks a hand across the guide's face, barking that he's a talentless loser. The tyrant pummels him, mocking how his juniors have already left him in the dust. Suddenly, our boy strolls in, witnessing the chaos with a razor-edged, dangerous smirk. Our boy snidely remarks, "The White Sword Master's training looks like a public execution." Our hero crashes the abusive session with a cocky, playful vibe, calling the master's ways overkill. The villain snarls, telling our guy to stay in his lane, but our boy beams, declaring he's there on business, while pointing at the mangled guide. He politely asks to take Huang Piao, claiming the hidden sect suits the giant better. The White Master's eyes narrow. He turns a murderous gaze toward his trembling subordinate. He barks accusations of treasonous fraternizing. Huang Piao desperately pleads his innocence, shaking with fear. The boss plots. Wearing a predator's grin, he proposes a high-stakes wager. Tournament winners coach one loser. He sets his sights on our girl's insane potential, claiming her genius is wasted there. The girl suddenly feels an ominous, icy shiver. Ignorant of being a pawn, our boy doesn't even flinch, accepting the bet with a smile. As the villain struts off, a terrified Huang Piao begs our hero to stop the madness. Our boy taps his shoulder, telling him to realize why he was specifically chosen. He clarifies the scout offer is real. Later, the shady merchant nervously questions the wager. Our boy just beams, noting that snagging a junior is a massive win for everyone. Leaving that man to suffer would be tragic. He tells our girl there's no pressure. He softly asks if she can win. She admits it's basically a 50-50 shot. Our hero smiles with absolute faith. Touched by his unwavering belief, determination flares in her eyes. The system pings her responsibility trait has finally awakened. Meanwhile, the white leader grills his ace Jean Kwong, demanding a total wipeout. Jean Kwong smirks, promising a flawless victory. Strutting past, he ignores the gravity of the match. Huang Piao quietly warns him to be careful. The arrogant prick just scoffs in response. Vowing not to choke like the others, he prepares to crush the hidden sect's streak. The ref signals both warriors forward. Jean Kwong drops into a lethal predatory stance. He mocks her survival streak, claiming her luck ends here. She fires back with steel. The jewel ignites. Jean Kwang plans to dance around, avoiding any direct heavy power clashes. He bets she's just a fraud with zero internal energy and lucky hits. Big mistake. He knows nothing of her own body. She recalls our hero's vital advice. Channeling her massive, untapped internal reservoirs, our girl explodes into a fierce assault. Jean Kwang barely evades, landing a heavy blow that sends her reeling back. He mocks her rookie status before launching a terrifying high-speed counteroffensive. Feeling the crushing pressure, she realizes he's a monster. He vows to end this instantly. Refusing to break her iron will triggers a massive system notification for our boy. Responsibility, diligence, and adversity fuse. A legendary new trait begins to manifest. Clear mirror, still water awakens. Her perception hits god-tier levels in the heat of battle. She tracks his blurred movements perfectly, but the massive skill gap still weighs heavy. A brutal clash disarms her. She stands there totally defenseless. Jean Kwang erupts with a dark, sinister aura, preparing his final world-ending strike. Up and stands, our boy tenses up, ready to break the rules for her. But sensing his faith, she stands firm as a massive explosion swallows the arena. The system pings in shock. A high-level technique called cold energy art has appeared. As the dust settles, a forbidden cultivation technique designed to weaponize pure lethal energy is finally revealed. The girl collapses, trembling as she stares at her palm pulsing with a terrifying sub-zero blue aura. She mumbles about the sudden chill before panic sets in. The MC charges the stage, but the ref intercepts him. Ref orders him back, but our hero snarls that this duel is already finished. The official spins around, witnessing the impossible truth. While the girl is just clinging to consciousness, Jean Long lies motionless on the floor, out cold. The announcer screams that the Ui Dong Sect has done it. Victory is theirs. The girl cheers for her leader, but high above in the VIP lounge, the white sect leader looks ready to explode, his teeth grinding together in a fit of pure, unadulterated fury. He realizes his elite organization was just publicly shamed by a total rookie in a single devastating knockout. Our MC leaps into the ring, praising her for keeping her word. Suddenly, that sketchy merchant begins to applaud, igniting our hero's voice as he booms across the stunned arena, officially declaring the Ui Dong Sect's rise. They are the undisputed champions. As she beams with pride, he invites the world to their grand opening. The ceremony starts in 1 month. Chaos erupts as the crowd reels from this unknown sect's insane victory. They just dismantled the legendary White Sword Sect. Predictably, their leader loses it, descending into a blind madness. He screams they hit high-tier frost arts just to mock him, drawing hidden blades for a pathetic sneak attack. Suddenly, Wang Bo intercepts him, physically shielding the group while begging his former master to keep some dignity. The boss snaps, screaming treason and lunging to kill him instantly. But our MC practically teleports into the fray, easily parrying the lethal strike and crushing the leader's wrist with a grip that sounds like snapping timber. He reminds the villain that Wang Bo is now his disciple, coldly offering to settle this feud himself. The leader realizes he is outclassed, yanks his arm back, and glares with hatred before retreating in shame. He disowns the guide and storms off, vowing revenge. Left alone, Wang Bo wonders if a loser like him can actually start over. Our hero places a hand on his shoulder, declaring that Wang Bo is enough. He is already a warrior. Moved to tears by the praise, Wang Bo swears to give his all. The system registers him as the second disciple. 2 weeks later, back at the new sect headquarters, Wang Bo is soaked in sweat, enduring the same hellish horse stance training that the girl survived before. He begs his senior sister to switch drills. Thriving in her new authority, she gives him a look. She quotes the MC's mantra about the basics, patronizingly telling her junior to stop being so impatient and weak. Wang Bo laughs, mentioning his 8 years of experience. As they banter, our hero scans the man's system stats. His energy growth is slow, but his physique and talent for techniques are actually top tier and insane. Our hero knows these flaws can be fixed by awakening his hidden traits. He is confident that his unbreakable will make him a powerhouse. Suddenly, the merchant arrives to report the massive tournament publicity success. Requests for the ceremony are piling up, but there is one massive dangerous catch to this sudden fame. The Murim Alliance has ordered a plagiarism audit on his techniques, clearly a trap set by his bloodline. The Toxic Beck family is behind this. Our hero notes that striking while they are successful is their style. Though his arts are original, he knows the biased examiners will likely side with the powerful family's lies. This would lead to a permanent teaching ban and a fine that would totally bankrupt the entire sect. To beat the rigged audit, he needs to study other sects' basic manuals to prove his work is unique. Getting those guarded manuals seems impossible. But then the girl shouts that some unexpected guests have just arrived. Our hero finds two familiar faces lounging at the estate, a bald guy and a girl in orange. These two are former members of his elite heaven-piercing division. They look right at home in the dump. The green-clad warrior mocks him, asking if he should call his former Captain Sect leader in this ruin. The girl in orange warns him not to touch a single thing unless he wants to die today. Watching his old squad, a devious, brilliant smile spreads across our hero's face as a plan forms. Their arrival is the exact miracle he needs to crush the plagiarism audit and flip the script on everyone. Meanwhile, at the Golden Dragon Trade headquarters, the Master is carefully reviewing the latest intel. A lackey frets the Murim Alliance will inevitably side with the Bet clan's political power, suggesting they withdraw funds. The Master smirks and decides to triple down on the chaos. He commands a letter. If they weaponize the Alliance against our boy, he has a counter. The Master plans to level things by dragging the unorthodox evil path into this mess. Tension peaks at the toxic Beck estate. The external leader questions their petty motives. He slams the choice to probe a sect that hasn't even officially opened its doors yet. It feels like cheap bait. The ice-cold patriarch remains unfazed, casually sipping his tea. Beck, the leader, snarls the current successor possesses zero martial talent or drive. While the daughter is reckless, the patriarch notes there are no rules against a female heir. But the leader is haunted furiously, demanding why the patriarch ever let our genius boy leave. He recalls the kid's massive talent, razor-sharp wit, and ironclad character. He insists this trial must remind the boy his power belongs to the Beck family. He hopes to force him back. The patriarch sets his tea down with chilling calm, claiming hardship builds men. He sanctions the plan to keep his son under the family's thumb. The leader smirks evilly, ready for capture. Cut to the Ui Cheon Sect's grand opening. Outside the gates, the Murim Alliance vice advisor arrives to oversee the inevitable downfall. He smugly vows that no sect survives a formal martial arts plagiarism audit. The leader agrees, obsessed with reclaiming his lost prodigy at any cost. Internally, he mourns that the boy could have been the greatest swordmaster of this era. Out loud, he demands his return. Suddenly, a thunderous gong shakes the entire courtyard. The gates burst open as our hero makes a god-tier high-flying entrance. He hammers his massive sect flag down, blasting the crowd with a theatrical shockwave. His system pings, warning him about his racing, adrenaline-fueled heart rate. Muting the window, he beams a $1 million smile and welcomes the massive crowd. He introduces himself as the sect leader, but his speech takes a wild turn. Addressing the tension, he confesses something that shocks every single guest in attendance. He casually admits his brand new sect plagiarized the Beck family's secret arts. Pure caos erupts. The merchant nearly dies of shock as our hero confesses his crime. Up in the VIP booth, the trade master watches the unfolding drama with a wide grin. Enjoying the show, the advisor wrongly believes our boy is surrendering out of fear. Realizing a scheme is afoot, the leader watches him invite the examination team up. The advisor and leader both ascend to the main stage. Recognizing the iconic Beck sword, the leader asks what game he's playing now. Our hero counters, wanting the verification exam done right here in the open. He demands the audit happen now, fully exposed to the public eye. Appalled, the officials sputter that these exams are strictly confidential affairs. Cornered by the crowd, the advisor must act fair to maintain the alliance's reputation. He reluctantly proceeds. The boy displays his flawless top-tier light body art. Explaining the heaven and earth principles, the advisor pounces on the similarity immediately. He declares it a blatant theft of Beck arts. The leader smugly agrees. As the trap shuts, our boy completely flips the script with a grin. He drops a bomb. His technique also plagiarized the famous Namgung family arts. The crowd gasps. He cheerfully reveals his art stole from many prestigious clans. He claims 23 of his techniques were actually lifted from various top sections. The advisor screams, "It is impossible," demanding to know the truth. Without actual representatives from those sects, how could they possibly validate such a baseless claim? Suddenly, two hands pierce the air. Stepping out is a familiar face, our hero's former comrade, the bald warrior clad in jade. Acting as the voice for the Namgung clan, alongside a Wudong disciple draped in vibrant sunset orange, the advisor's jaw drops. Elite heaven-piercing division members are crashing the show. With a smirk, the bald warrior shrugs, saying they were just nearby on a mission and decided to swing by. He then boldly testifies that our boy's skills are a perfect match for the Namgung family's legendary arts. Right on time, the Wudong girl speaks up, backing him up 100%. The Wudong Sect agrees, and, just like that, the trap is set. She unveils a mountain of sealed scrolls from every top-tier sect, all claiming our heroes' moves mirror their own. Then comes the killing blow. She asks with a fake smile, does this mean the Bait Clan's core foundation is actually just a cheap knockoff, stolen from the world's greatest powers? The leader's eyes race across the documents, screaming that this entire situation is a farce. But our bald friend just scoffs in pure, unadulterated disgust, mocking the advisor and asking if the Great Alliance is truly ready to admit their own standards are trash, that their rules are biased and broken. Suddenly, the realization hits. They've been backed into a corner, legally checkmated. With the whole world watching, the humiliated leader slams the papers onto the dirt in a fit of rage, burning holes into the signatures officially stamped by the legendary heaven-piercing division supreme commander. He bellows our hero's name in a primal scream, realizing his perfect scheme just went up in flames. The vice advisor is sweating bullets, stuttering as he demands to know how our boy secured all these damning testimonials. The fear is real. Did this kid actually leak the family's top secret scrolls to every major power in the land? Rocking a cold, predatory smirk, our protagonist locks eyes with him. He's made his move. Now it's their turn. He's counting the seconds. If the Bake family admits to plagiarism now, their very foundation is legally doomed. They'll be tangled in lawsuits with 23 different clans. He wonders if his cold-blooded kin will actually risk everything. Will they double down on this disaster? The leader, who we now find out is actually our boy's own uncle, is absolutely livid. With a guttural snarl, he draws his gleaming crescent moon blade and lunges. But our hero parries the strike like it is nothing, signaling his worried students to stand down. This is personal. His uncle pushes back, shouting that the sacred Bake bloodline flows through his veins, and he is destined to lead them. He roars, asking if our boy is still shackled by his past grudges. Our hero shoves him back with overwhelming power, retorting that it is actually his uncle who is stuck in time, demanding to know if he still hates the family for failing to avenge his mother's murder. The uncle wavers, confessing he understands why our hero sees them as failures for losing her. But duty is a heavy burden, and he warns with a heavy heart that he will cut down anyone, even him, who threatens the clan's survival. He strikes again, only to be effortlessly swatted down onto his knees. Looking down at him, our hero speaks, claiming he never planned to disown his lineage. The resentment is there, but the burning rage has finally faded. The broken man asks why he will not return. Our boy replies firmly. As a leader, he must stand alone, far from the weak child who vanished 15 years ago. The uncle scoffs. How long can a small sect survive the crushing weight of the main family without flinching? Our hero declares he is ready for any challenge, just like today. The uncle freezes a flash of memory, showing a young Yun deflecting his blade long ago. Coming back to reality, he stays silent. Our boy drops to one knee, formally announcing as the Aeon Master that their arts are pure. Then, whispering as a nephew, he asks for just a little more time, vowing to reveal the whole truth soon. Hearing that iron resolve, the uncle's face finally breaks into a smile. He rises, facing the advisor, and swears upon his honor and his very blade that the Aeon Sect is innocent of all charges. As he departs, the camera shifts to a cloaked figure lurking in the shadows. With a grin, she admits she was ready to step in if things got messy, but sees our boy had it handled all along. She silences her companion. The reveal is mind-blowing. It is none other than the monstrous king of the unorthodox path. He notes the Aeon estate feels like a massive divine weapon, attracting cursed artifacts. Intrigued by our hero's potential, the Dark Lord vanishes back into the abyss. With her striking golden hair and emerald eyes, she is the legendary heir to the Golden Dragon. The Trademaster watches our boy with intense curiosity, officially naming him her very first business partner. 3 days later, our girl is spiraling. Despite the flashy ceremony, not a single recruit has shown up. She collapses in despair while Gong Pil sweeps the grounds. Our boy coldly tells her to keep it together. He questions if a leader should crumble over nothing, but his own calm is a total facade. The system alerts scream that his heart rate is redlining. He's gripping his calligraphy brush so hard it snaps. Trying to help, our girl asks how they'll recruit without a massive reputation or local trust. She suggests hunting for customers like merchants. Horrified, Gong Pil asks if he looks like a street canvasser. Our boy immediately kills the idea, having zero interest in begging for students. Pulling out a sealed scroll, he orders Gong Pil to deliver it to the high-end trading company. This is his masterstroke, a formal bid to operate a prestigious Murim Alliance training academy. Over at the Murim Alliance headquarters, the second military advisor, is nursing a world-class headache. He's buried under a mountain of training refusal letters from the elite Manhwa disciples. The upcoming graduation competition is the problem. These disciples are now screaming about unfair discrimination. The advisor sighs, noting the system splits nobles into Mayun and unaffiliated fighters into Murimhal. They are supposed to be equal, yet the Mayun elites have crushed Murim for 3 straight years. To make matters worse, the Manhwa master is backing the boycott just to save face. Suddenly, a messenger arrives with a direct order from the third military advisor himself. It's a brutal command. Dump all the rebellious Mayun disciples into the mysterious Bakian Sect program. The schedule will proceed as planned. The staff is absolutely stunned by this ruthless executive decision. Deep in the mountains, the Murimhal disciples are camping. One wakes up, haunted by their defeats. He finds another disciple, Sion, calmly reading. Sion jokes that it isn't even his watch duty yet. The restless fighter apologizes, feeling guilty for leading the training boycott that got them exiled. He assumes they're being sent to a punishment sect. Sion just smiles and stands up. He suggests that if this new sect is trash, they should just force the leader to submit. Just as they plot a takeover, a shadow plunges into the camp. "Who's there?" they roar. Stepping into the light with a predatory grin, our boy introduces himself as the Bakian Sect leader. He cheerfully announces their entrance exam starts right now. The rule is simple. If even one of them can touch the Bakian Sect's threshold, they pass. They instantly form a battle line. Our boy blitzes the nearest target, driving a knee into the dirt with a single brutal strike. He casually finishes his thought. They only pass if they can actually manage to escape him alive. The scene shifts to Hubei province, where 3 elite Mayun disciples are trekking to the camp. A massive bald guy scoffs at their destination, mocking this unknown Bakian sect as a total joke. Their leader, a pretentious guy with a ponytail, dismisses the noise. He plans on winning regardless. Trailing silently behind is a girl with a massive secret. She's our boy's estranged younger sister. Thinking back to when her genius brother abandoned their toxic family, she vows to never lose. She refuses to stop until she finally tracks him down and demands an explanation. Meanwhile, in the dark forest, our boy is treating the Murim recruits like literal punching bags. He effortlessly parries Sion's spear thrust casually, complimenting the boy's 4 mid-fight. Drenched in sweat, Sion demands to know why they're being violently jumped in the dead of night. Our hero laughs, explaining it's just vibe check to gauge their true skill levels. When Sion asks what happens if they fail this surprise exam, our boy's smile vanishes. He coldly warns that if they can't pass, he'll tie them up and rot them in a warehouse. The disciples realize this isn't a game. This is a fight for their very lives and dignity. As the moon hangs high, the real training of the Bakian sect has finally brutally begun. Banished from the upcoming tournament, forced into a total forfeit without landing a single blow. Driven by the chilling threat of disqualification, Song, the nightmare-plagued disciple, claws back to his feet. Trembling, he asks if toppling the leader means an instant pass. Noticing 3 others joining the chaos. Facing a 5-on-1, our main character flashes a lethal smirk and mockingly beckons them forward. Minutes later, the forest is a wreck. The 5 students are gasping, their stamina completely drained, spitting blood while our main character stands unfazed. Suddenly, Song launches one final desperate lunge, but our hero glides aside effortlessly, driving a brutal knee deep into the boy's gut. He ruthlessly mocks Song's hesitation, sneering if the rookie actually feared injuring a seasoned grandmaster with such a pathetic blow. Whirling instantly, our main character cleaves through massive trunks before freezing, his cold steel resting a hair's breadth from Sion's throat. He admires Sion's reflexes internally while booming, harshly roasting the group for their rigid movements and squandered numbers. Sensing they need a harsher lesson, our main character flicks his hair back, calling them utter failures. He strikes their fragile egos, proving the rumors of their loser energy are 100% true. The mental warfare hits perfectly. Pushed to the brink, the trio Sion and Song and the fierce Dan Ryan finally sync their movements. Sion snaps out a plan. Song tanks, Sion finds a gap, and Dan Ryan delivers the kill shot. They strike in unison, but our hero dismantles their coordination with terrifying elegance. Dancing through their blades, he lunges forward, shattering a disciple's guard with a thunderous punch. He barks that arrogance is a death sentence, mocking their delusional wide-eyed optimism, expecting him to pull his punches. He blasts the student backward, pinning him against a solid oak, leaving him limp and unconscious. Our boy sighs, head shaking as he mourns his wasted expectations for this mediocre squad. But as he ends the trial, the air suddenly turns ice cold and heavy. A wicked crimson and obsidian aura explodes from the boy who was supposedly knocked out. Our main character glides past a blinding sneak attack, his eyes gleaming with pure, unadulterated hype, instantly identifying the signature dark energy of the forbidden, unorthodox demonic arts. Unmoved by the lethal technique, our hero grins like a psychopath, daring the kid to bring it, ordering him to burn his life force and go all out. As the student streaks forward in red lightning, the system pings to announce the main character's recruitment stats are hitting the moon. Watching the aura-drenched teen, our hero flashes a devious grin, deciding on the spot that this kid belongs to him. The scene shifts to the crimson disciple waking in a cold sweat, body wrecked from last night's exertion. His bald teammate, looking straight out of an Avatar episode, checks in as he dizzily nods along. Deep down, the red aura kid is spiraling into a total mental meltdown. Horror sinks in as he realizes he accidentally unleashed the forbidden arts of the Bloodsword Sect. Caught red-handed by the Aiden Sect leader, he's paralyzed. Certain execution awaits instead of the tournament. He expects to spy his death, frantically wondering why the group hasn't joined him in his fate. Cold sweat pours as he overanalyzes the leader's agenda. Suddenly, the morning assembly bell rings out. Our hero stands before the bruised recruits, revealing that exactly 5 of the 15 candidates actually survived. The red aura warrior is stunned. The sheer brutality of the exam has decimated the ranks. The survivors are a ragtag bunch, him a bald Avatar look-alike, and a fierce whip wielder. The arrogant guy, with a ponytail, and one other lucky survivor round out the final squad. Our hero maps out a hellish schedule, daily sparring against elite disciples, and non-stop tactical research. Our girl steps forward with training gear, introducing herself and the mountain of a man Wong Bo, ever the pragmatist. Wong Bo tells them to skip the pleasantries and save breath for the beating. Wong Bo suggests they focus on the coming pain rather than long, friendly introductions. With a confident smirk, our girl proposes a handicap match, challenging all 5 recruits to fight her. She wants to take them on with Wong Bo simultaneously. The recruits boil with rage. Mong Bo hippity igris. Watching his tiny disciple act so tough, our boy feels incredibly proud. He greenlights the brawl. The ponytail guy charges ahead, telling his teammates to stay back. He promises to finish this solo, charging at her while assuming an easy victory. She parries effortlessly, triggering her clear mirror still water trait as a serene blue aura manifests. She offers a polite warning before a devastating palm strike blasts the spearmen completely backward. Shocked to see their leader swatted, the recruits jump in. The bald warrior admires her stance. She blushes and thanks him, but the bald guy's aura flares as he prepares a strike. He warns that his next hit won't be easy. Before he moves, Wong Bo intercepts him. Wong Bo grabs the guy's wrist with an iron grip. They realize these members are monsters. The whip girl screams for her team to use their full power as a brawl erupts. The fight is completely one-sided. The red aura guy desperately tries to push Wong Bo back. The giant simply grabs the whip and yanks the girl into the line of her allies' fire. Within heartbeats, the entire squad is eating dirt. Only the whip girl is barely left standing. She is utterly traumatized that her elite team just got swept by 2 random sidekicks. Ending the massacre, our boy drops a flex. His disciple has only trained for 1 month. The recruits' jaws hit the floor. The red aura guy is horrified by her insane internal energy. At such a young age, he uses their defeat as a teaching moment for the group. He explains that from now on, they must research tactics involving 2 or more people coordinating. Mentioning their 3-year losing streak, he stresses that absolute trust in themselves is required. Trust in their comrades is the only way to multiply strength and break their losing curse. With the motivational speech over, he officially ends the training and dismisses the remaining recruits. As everyone turns to leave, our boy orders the red aura guy to stay behind. The second they are alone, a system window flickers, activating a total soundproof barrier. The red aura guy offers a nervous compliment, but our hero's friendly teacher, Mask, completely vanishes. His aura turns suffocatingly intimidating as he demands they finish their previous conversation. He looks the terrified kid dead in the eye, demanding to know the truth immediately. He identifies the boy as the young leader of the Bloodsword Sect, an evil pillar. He asks why a prince of the evil path is masquerading as a lowly disciple. He coldly warns that without a spectacular answer, the boy should prepare for the consequences. Our boy demands an answer. Why is the Bloodsword Sect's leader slumming it here? Song starts trembling, frantically debating if he should risk everything on a desperate run for it. Our protagonist crushes that idea instantly. unleashing a paralyzing aura that demands total submission. Escape is a pipe dream now. As he forces a confession, we plunge into Song's agonizing past. Flashing back 5 years, the vicious overlord of the Wicked Way relentlessly berates a young Song. The deranged master sneers with pure loathing, disgusted that Song dared to show mercy during combat. He scolds him for merely shattering limbs instead of decapitating foes, insisting their path thrives on terror. A sick ultimatum follows. Song is commanded to infiltrate the prestigious Miram Alliance as a deep cover mole. His mission: execute his own junior brother on the battlefield. When Song hesitates, the tyrant threatens a bloody massacre of thousands, vowing to personally butcher everyone Song holds dear. Flight or death aren't escapes. Trapped in a corner, Song accepts this nightmare of a suicide mission. He prays this buys him enough time to break his master's chains. Returning to the present, our lead grins as Song chooses a direct offensive, applauding the boy's resolve to carve a path out. He demands Song's full potential, noting that restrictive orthodox styles are just a cage for his talent. He guarantees that awakening his true Wicked Way strength will make the Miram Hall tournament a total joke. Sensing a lethal shift from the exams, a desperate Song lunges forward with every ounce of his power. Our MC parries with zero effort, noting how much more dangerous Song becomes using his forbidden techniques. Then he drops a total mind nuke. Song's very soul is fundamentally at odds with the Wicked Way. As Song barks back in denial, our hero simply points to the glaring hesitation trembling in his blade. Proclaiming that a real slayer's sword never wavers, our protagonist levels the kid with a brutal haymaker. He claims the sword is shouting Song's secrets, demanding to know the actual purpose behind his steel. If he's just a mindless slaughterer, what's the point of even carrying a blade? Finally breaking, Song confesses that his father wasn't some legendary master, but a man of immense honor. He stood his ground while cowards fled, only for history to mock his sacrifice as a dog's death. To prove his father was a hero, Song became obsessed with power, desperate to outrun the stigma of weakness. But he strayed, falling into darkness until he became nothing but a living weapon for the blood sword sect. Sobbing, Song surrenders his life, ready for execution or to be thrown to the Alliance's wolves. His only plea: save the innocent. Our MC watches, realizing this so-called monster is just a boy fighting for his father's dignity. He steps in, delivering a sharp flick to Song's brow. As Song stumbles back, our hero orders him to rise, admitting the kid is a mirror of his own past. He shares how he once buried his own toxic roots, reconstructing his entire style just to survive Miram Hall. Since the Alliance won't crumble over one rogue rookie, our lead throws the kid a massive lifeline. He vows to overhaul Song's techniques, scrubbing away any trace of the Wicked Way. Inside, our MC is hyped. With a heavy-hitting VIP approaching, this overpowered prodigy is his golden ticket to ultimate victory. He warns that the next 14 days will be pure hell as he dismantles Song's entire foundation. Asked if he trusts the plan, Song only cares about gaining strength. Our hero gives him an ironclad guarantee. We cut to the Miram Alliance headquarters, where officials are busy glazing the new crop of Miram Hall talents. They boast about their freakish skills and perfect records. Observing this from majestic throne is the sword saint himself, the living legend standing at the very peak of the Orthodox world. As one of the 10 heavens, he ignores the fluff and drops an absolute nuke of a revelation. He reveals the Wicked Way's leader propose a high-stakes gamble centered on the underdog Miram Hall. If the villains win, they get a favor. If they lose, they freeze all expansion and aggression for a full year. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Realizing they cannot afford a single mistake, the Sword Saint ups the ante to lock in their win. He announces the arrival of a new, terrifying player, a savage new instructor from Miram Hall. He summons a legend from 10 years ago, Wudong's finest genius, Chong Rue. We finally see this new menace, a cold-eyed warrior sporting silver hair and a ponytail. He's ready to turn the tournament into a bloodbath. Meanwhile, at the Aiden Sect, the daily spars are breaking everyone. Our leading lady hits the deck, whining to the mountain of a man that this brutal daily grind is pure torture. She's running on empty. Right then, our MC saunters over with a smirk, clowning them for being so gassed. Seeking to spark some fire, he dangles a legendary carrot. He vows that once this hellish camp concludes, they'll journey to the Miram Alliance for the grand tournament and meet the god-tier blacksmith who forged his personal blade. The catch: win 8 of 15 matches against the recruits, and he'll bankroll custom signature weapons for them. The thought of that high-tier personalized loot instantly revives the 2 drained disciples. On the field, the recruits feel the heat of that sudden motivation. The whip girl desperately asks our girl how she countered her secret new move so easily. With a flex, our girl scoffs, noting yesterday's tactics were basically child's play compared to the day before. Nearby, the giant tank is absolutely dogging the ponytail guy, cheerfully admitting this sudden second wind is fueled by greed. Ponytail just huffs, assuming the boss is playing favorites. With the one recruit currently missing from the squad, that favored student, the red aura guy, is actually hogtied to a massive boulder screaming about being benched. Our hero ignores the noise and slams a glowing seal onto the stone, sending a jagged bolt of lightning through the tied-up brat. He casually explains it's a high-level prison bind meant for transporting demon lords without wrecking their core. One wrong move or a sniff of evil energy and it'll crush him. Dropping a cryptic truth bomb, our boy says the only escape is breaking free without moving a single muscle. Another recruit watches jealously, asking if this is some elite secret training. Our hero denies any bias and orders them back to work. One recruit yells they're about to flex their insane progress, but our MC ignores the hype, telling the immobilized prodigy to watch his peers clash and meditate on why he's stuck to a rock. Down in the dirt, Ponytail pulls off a pixel-perfect move, sniffing out a tiny opening to bypass the giant's massive spear reach. Still strapped to the stone, Red Aura is floored, wondering when the spearman got such a big brain playstyle. Our main duo is evolving mid-scrap, patching each other's blind spots perfectly. Our hero leans in, asking if watching his rivals evolve makes him dread being left behind. Suddenly, the system blares a notification. Ponytail has reached the legendary state of weapon unity. Red Aura's panic hits a fever pitch, terrified of being forgotten. The kid begs for release, but our hero shuts him down. He notes the spearman is gaining raw wisdom and carving his own legacy while this brat is just a cheap copy of his twisted master. Clenching his jaw, the kid asks what he's supposed to do. Our hero breaks it down. Moving around just strengthens trash habits, so by sealing his body, he's forcing the kid to totally overhaul his internal circuit. He drops a massive hint, revealing that most mediocre warriors only tap into 70% of their energy pathways. Find the answers in the dark zones, and the gears click. The kid realizes he must flush his poison pathways and shove his energy into uncharted territory. He fights the stone, surging his entire core at once to shatter the walls of those locked meridians. The system screams red alerts. The kid's toxic energy is backflowing, triggering a lethal mutation. Our MC shouts a warning to stay composed, because if that chaotic storm swallows him whole, his path as a warrior ends right here forever. The squad notices him suffocating under a black mist and rushes to help, but our hero blocks them, declaring this is a solo trial he must win alone. Screaming through the pain, the kid purges his veins, violently bleaching the darkness out of his soul. He finally triggers a god-tier energy loop. With a deafening boom, the mystic shackles burst into pieces. Gasping but victorious, the kid collapses. Our MC gives him a solid pat, praising him for scrubbing out that toxic blood sword art and becoming a total blank slate. With a weak but satisfied grin, the kid chirps that since he's at level 0, the boss is legally obligated to train him for real. Our hero happily agrees to help him paint a brand new legend on that empty as the squad sprints over to welcome their teammate back. The vibe is nothing but pure wholesome energy. The sun-drenched training fades into a nightmare forest. A pale, hollowed corpse dangles from a twisted tree. Every drop of blood is gone. Our hero's old squad, the bald veteran and the stoic girl, inspect the horror. The bald man gripes the killer sucked the poor soul dry through a single puncture wound. Losing the scent, he realizes the predator strikes anyone anywhere. He argues this messy hunting style is too brainless for an organized evil faction. Shaken, she fears it is either a psycho or a monster. Vowing justice, they decide to hunt the beast themselves. The bald guy smirks, but wisely suggests setting up a safety net first. If they vanish for 1 month, someone must summon the heavenly gatekeeper. Oblivious to the wood's carnage, our boy suddenly feels a chill. He senses absolute chaos will ruin everything. At the Aiden Sect, our hero rallies his exhausted crew after 2 weeks. Skills peak, but one rookie's dark energy remains. Dominating with 8 straight wins, he promises them custom gear. The blacksmith who forged his blade will craft theirs, but his smile fades. Phase 2 begins, and survival is no longer guaranteed. Later, a dark letter arrives from the Murim military advisor. The shady merchant mentions the surge in local disappearances. Victims are found bloodless, their neck arteries slashed wide open. He realizes a monster is loose since the Tiger Brigade is deployed. This explains why his old squad crashed his Sect ceremony. Trusting their strength, he knows they will dominate the threat. Nostalgia shatters as two recruits smash through the training hall doors. Our boy dodges, but the massive door crushes the salesman. The merchant groans. Our hero laughs. They're screaming about chi reading and Mujong school secrets. A top-tier genius is currently teaching at that academy. Realizing they broke the door, the rookies beg for their lives. With a grin, he drops a bomb. He faced that genius 4 years straight and stayed undefeated. Demanding proof, the recruits hear his old title, White Sword Dragon. Their jaws drop. Their teacher is a living Murim legend. Absolute loyalty is sworn. He orders them to rest immediately. He warns that mental burnout kills faster than any blade. Rest day destination, beautiful daunting lake. Cause trouble and you'll crawl home in shame. The luxury falling flower house denies them entry for being nobodies. Only elite warriors can enter the top floor. Suddenly, Gavel, the trade master's disciple, spots her target. She buys their meal for intel on the mysterious billion. She wants to prove her worth alone. Gavel is insulted that our boy never mentioned her name. The black-haired girl casually pours the blonde a drink. In her world, free booze equals friendship. The ponytail warrior offers a stiff apology for his suspicion, but Gavel ignores it, dissolving into a flood of theatrical tears and sobbing that our hero has clearly scrubbed her from his memory. Caught in a frantic scramble, the recruits desperately try to soothe the weeping heiress, jumping to their leader's defense by insisting his schedule is packed with their brutal training. They explain he's also preoccupied with a high-stakes wager against the unorthodox alliance, trying to justify his absence with the pressure of the upcoming clash. Suddenly, Gavel's tears vanish instantly. A cold realization hits her. These naive recruits are completely oblivious to the shark-infested political waters they're currently swimming in. She ruthlessly tears the veil off the situation, explaining that the Murim Alliance and the Wicked Evil Path have declared a shaky truce just to settle a bet on the tournament. Here's the catch. The Murim bigwigs have dumped every cent on Murim Hall, putting their full weight behind the favorites to secure a massive win. Meanwhile, the unorthodox alliance is backing the underdog Murim Hall. And that's when Gavel drops a devastating truth bomb that shatters the recruits' world. The entire Murim leadership is actually praying for the Murim recruits to fail, proving they're nothing but disposable sacrificial pawns in a rigged game. Shock and betrayal ripple through the group, and the whip-wielding girl fumes with rage, demanding they storm the Alliance headquarters to confront the higher-ups immediately. But the ponytail fighter counters with a bitter dose of reality, noting he has no sect backing him, so he has everything to gain and nothing to lose by winning. For the others, victory means facing a political nightmare, and the room erupts into chaos until the bald monk slams his fist down, rattling the table and silencing the noise. He points out the most gut-wrenching fact of all. Their beloved sect leader definitely knew they were being set up by the Alliance from the very start. Meanwhile, at the estate, our MC is nonchalantly feeding to the flames as the nervous merchant asks what he intends to do about the Alliance's pressure. With the tournament fix looming, our hero's gaze turns icy as he coldly declares that he has no intention of bending to the dirty games of adult politics. He proclaims the recruits are officially under his protection now and casually demands the salesman's full backing, revealing he's seen through his secret identity for a long time. He's known all along that this vendor is actually a high-level proxy for the massive Golden Dragon Trading Company, but a panicked subordinate suddenly interrupts their tense standoff. The scout bursts in screaming that warriors from both alliances are mobilizing at breakneck speed, causing immediate alarm throughout the entire estate. Our boy assumes a full-scale war has finally ignited, but the subordinate delivers a report that is far more blood-chilling than any human conflict. A hellish procession of over 100 man-eating demons has materialized out of nowhere, marching straight for Dongting Lake, exactly where the recruits are currently resting. MC's mind quickly races through the mechanics of demonic terrain, a literal dead zone of toxicity that bleeds out from a powerful, evolving demon. Once that beast evolves into a greater demon, the corruption becomes permanent, turning the surrounding land into a literal slice of hell on earth. Staying outside the zone offers safety, but a newborn greater demon acts like a dinner bell for every nightmare in the region, drawing them in for a feast. This triggers a catastrophic migration toward human settlements. A legendary nightmare known to the martial world as the Night Parade of 100 Demons. Right on cue, another grim update arrives. A swarm of nearly 250 monsters from Beishong is barreling toward Dongting Lake at impossible speed. Our hero runs the numbers and realizes a horde that massive guarantees a greater demon is pulling the strings from the shadows. To escalate the stakes, his former elite heaven-piercing squad vanished in that exact region a month ago, leaving the situation even more personal. They left behind a cryptic marker, a desperate instruction for whoever found it to immediately notify the leader of the Righteous Heaven Sect. Without a second thought, our boy announces he's headed for Beishang, leaving the panicked merchant to stammer questions about the recruits left behind at the lake. Flashing a lethal, unbothered grin, our hero clarifies he has zero obligation to play babysitter for the trainees while a real threat looms. He confidently bets that the local Murim branch head will prioritize evacuating those precious academy brats the moment things get dangerous. He takes to the skies, focused entirely on slaughtering the greater demon before it transforms the entire province into a permanent toxic abyss. He finds it darkly poetic that his old comrades left such a tempting trail of breadcrumbs for him to follow into the heart of the storm. Back at the Falling Flower House, the recruits are in a heated debate over whether the Alliance is truly using them as expendable trash for their bet. Their session is cut short as the local branch head storms in, drenched in cold sweat, barking orders for them to sprint back to the training grounds. The terrifying news drops like a lead weight. A night parade is barreling their way, and the situation is rapidly spiraling out of control. The recruits are insulted, asking if he really expects them to tuck tail and run from a battlefield like cowards when people are in danger. The branch head pulls rank snapping that this is a strategic withdrawal and his only priority is keeping academy kids like them from dying. He aggressively shuts down the fiery girls' protests and storms out muttering a highly unprofessional good riddance as he leaves them behind. Analyzing the panic, the ponytail strategist deduces the branch head expects the local sect to fail, so he suggests they simply follow orders to stay alive. But the fiery girl is absolutely disgusted, channeling her inner hero as she challenges the group's honor and their commitment to the sect. She asks if a true member of the Righteous Heaven Sect would ever abandon innocent civilians to the slaughter shaming.